Hello, my name is Ash, and this is Ash's Movies, and today we are going to be ranking the Scream franchise. So the Scream franchise is one of my favorite franchises, really. Before we get started, I'd like to say a big thank you to everybody that has subscribed to the channel recently, and obviously long-time subscribers. I am really thankful for this. We just recently passed 200 subscribers, which I'm very happy about. And there will be a 200 subscriber special happening on Friday, I believe. I'll probably film it on Thursday and upload it on Friday. It's going to be going through the entire DVD collection, so that's shows, DVDs, Blu-rays, etc. Yeah, and I'm really excited to show you all of this. Yeah, so we're going to get straight into it then. I'm actually holding a mic today, which is it's new for me. Well, I have done it a few times in the past. Normally I do it on my TikTok, but I'm using a mic on YouTube now. So if you do think I sound better, make sure you tell me in the comments. Again, before we get started, I'd like to say don't forget to like, subscribe to the notification bell on, and check out my other channel for comic book related content. If you are new here, I'm Arsha, and I make content about movies, shows, and anything physical media related. And today we're ranking the Scream franchise. So this is my opinion, not IMDb, not Letterboxd. Obviously, Letterboxd is taken into consideration because this is where I review them on. I also review most of these on YouTube as well. So we have 1 to 7, so all 7 movies, not 1 to 6. I have recently watched Scream 7, well, not recently, last month before maybe, I watched Scream 7, and I've got to be honest, it's not a good film. So before we get started, I'd like to say, let's get straight into it then. Why do I keep redoing the intro? So, at number 1 then, I have the original 1996 film, Scream. This stars Courtney Cox. We'll go into that in a minute. This is directed by Wes Craven. This is an all-time classic, best slasher of all time, I think, in my opinion. So that's why I have it at number 1. And this stars Neve Campbell, David Arquette, and Courtney Cox. Its average rating is... Give me just a second. I rated this 5 stars on Letterboxd, and the average rating is 4 stars. So yeah, this is a really great film, and I do recommend this to everybody. This is on my top 4 on Letterboxd, actually. I'm going to show you something quickly. So this is my little wall of top 20 movies that I've ever watched. We've got The Batman, Dark Knight, Prisoners, and then Scream. So this top 4 here is my top 4 on Letterboxd. So I had that nicely arranged. Free prints actually helped me get these. If you were a new member, you get to get free prints to your address. So yeah, I definitely recommend going over there. Back to the point then. I have talked about Scream on the channel so many times. Overall, I think the best film is Scream from the entire original trilogy, and from the newer additions to Scream. It's an amazing film. It's got a great cast, and it's got a great story. The acting, even for the time, is good as well. It's one of them. Sorry. It's one of them films that really just brings the characters to life, and it makes like the tense scenes even more tense, and the twists and the tricks in this film amazing. Stu Walker, one of my favorite characters of all time, entirely in fiction. Yeah, Matthew Lillard plays a really great Stu Walker. I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed the fact that he came back in the Scream 7 film, not as the character, but as like a hologram, AI stuff. Yeah. Next, I have Scream 2022. So this is Scream 5, directed by Taylor Gillette, and Matt Bennell Olfen. I think that's how you say it. Olfen. I don't know how to say it. Yeah, this is a really great film, and again, when watching this, I give this 4.5 on Letterboxd. By the way, I actually reviewed this on the channel if you want to check that out. This is actually such like it's got such a good twist, and it's like a prequel to the sequel, and it's really amazing to see how these characters have developed through these films. And it's got such a big gap between films as well. 2011 was the last film, and then you get another one in 2022. So that's 10, that's 11 years that they had no films for, and then they brought this masterpiece out. So this is a great, really great film. And this again stars a new cast as well. We got Jenna Ortega in this one. We got Melissa Barrera and Mason Gooding in this one as well. You know, a new cast is what really made the fresh. Obviously, we still had Sydney's character, which is Sydney, the character of Neve Campbell, and we had David Arquette, and we had Courtney Cox. It was just such a big cast, and I think that's really what made the film so special to me. And it was a really great film, really great watch. I really enjoyed it. And also a big character development in this film with the death of one of the original characters, which is really, really surprising. You know, it's such a great film. Yes. So the average rating for this film is the average rating for Scream 2022 is 3.2, and I give it 4.5. At number 3 then, another film I do not actually own on physical media, is Scream 4, made in 2011. Wes Craven directed this film, okay? It was like the comeback of a century, even though it wasn't a century. It was such a great film with a lot more character development. I know I talked about character development in the last one, but this gives loads of character development, and I enjoyed Jill Roberts as the Ghostface in this film. I thought she played a really good Ghostface, and the twist as well. You know, it's not you don't expect the twist, and the fact that Sydney's cousin wanted to try and be like Sydney, but then she ended up being the Ghostface. It's really crazy, and this was like one of the most psychotic films I think I've seen in my life. It's such a just great twist, and it really turns your head. You know what I mean? Yeah, I give this 4 stars on Letterboxd, and the average rating is 3.4. At number 4 on my list, then I have Scream 2. So, a really good sequel in my opinion. It's made it in 1997, just a year after the success of the first film. Wes Craven's back directing, and he has made a great sequel. I know in horror movies the sequel is normally not good. I can give you many examples. Alien vs Predator, that was an okay film. Alien vs Predator Requiem, not a good film. You've got stuff like, I don't know, It. I enjoyed the first It, but then I didn't really enjoy It Chapter 2 as much. Final Destination, one of the many examples of films that actually got better, in my opinion, after the first one. Final Destination 2 I thought was amazing, but then Final Destination 3, absolute shit, absolute dog poop. Jaws 2, 3, and 4. I know for a fact they're all bad because I've heard reviews on them, and that's what stopped me from watching them. You know, not a lot. I know a lot of films, do get better after the sequel. Normally, it does get better, but there's some select few films that normally don't get better. You've got good films, like films that get better after the first one. A Jurassic Park might be a good example, or for me, the Dark Knight trilogy is the obvious example, or maybe even the Amazing Spider-Man 2 films. The second one's better than the first one, in my opinion. I really enjoyed it. You know, it just, that I don't even know how to explain it. This is such a great sequel, and it does really live up to the first one. But I just can't give this any higher, especially considering the films that we've got above it. They're really great films, and this one just doesn't have as much shock as the first one. The Ghostface was good in this film. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, I'm going to be doing a movie going deeper into depth for Ghostface's ranking, and I'm going to rank all the Ghostfaces, talk about them, say which ones were my favourite, and which ones I think were the most effective in the Scream franchise. So I gave Scream 2 3.5 stars, and the average rating for that is 3.3. So that is not too far off then. Yeah. And then we've got, at number 5 then, we have got Scream 6. Now, I know, when I watched this film, I was lower on it than some people. I do realise that it didn't bring back any of the original cast apart from Gale Weathers, which did really annoy me, because Sydney is kind of like the thing that brought that franchise together, the thing that holds that franchise together in a way. And it really is annoying that, they they didn't bring her back, and it wasn't even filmed in Woodsbourough. You know, the classic place. It is filmed in New York. The only thing that made this film go into that number 5 spot for me was the fact that it had 3 ghost faces. Otherwise, I think it would have probably taken the number 6 spot, and it definitely wouldn't have been number 7 because, well, um, it, the fact that, and obviously the Quinn, the family, it was a good film. It was a good film when it came to mind tricking, but it just wasn't a good film when it came to like acting and even potential in cinema. To be honest, obviously this came just a year after Scream 5 or Scream 2022. I didn't expect too much from them, but I expected a bit more than this. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. Again, directed by Matt Bettinelli and Altbin Tyler Matt Bettinelli Altbin and Tyler Gillette. And then yeah, I don't actually own this on physical media. I'm planning to buy it at some point. I'm just debating, trying to get it for a good price. Scream 6, I gave 3.5. I give 3.5. Why did I give it 3.5? Yeah, and I just thought there was so much wasted potential in Scream 6. I give it 3.5. I don't know why. But yeah, and the average rating is 3.4. The last one on my list then should be no surprise to anybody. It is the worst film in the franchise. No, I'm not on number 6, sorry. I don't know what was happening. Number 6, then I have Scream 3 from 2000. I actually own this on physical media. I'll get that for you now. So that's Scream 3 then. Yeah, in my opinion, the worst of the original trilogy by a far marker. As I was saying, sorry. Yeah, the worst of the original trilogy. And honestly, I didn't hate it as much as some people. I found it fun. I found it enjoyable. It just wasn't as good of a film as any of the other ones on the list. Patrick Dempsey was a nice addition character in this film. Um, you know, yeah. Again, with the original 3, which I did enjoy. Sydney had much more of a character arc in this film, I believe, because her half brother was the killer. I also enjoyed the fact that there was only one Ghostface in this film. You'd expect Scream 3, oh no, they're going to do 3 Ghostface, isn't they? Like they did 2 in the first and second film. You think, oh, you can have more than one Ghostface, didn't you? No, in this film, it's one Ghostface, and it's the half-brother of Sydney. And I really enjoyed the fact. Yeah, much more of a character arc for Sydney in this film, and yeah, the Ghostface I thought was actually one of the smartest. Roman Pierce was one of the smartest Ghostfaces in the entire franchise. We'll go more into depth on that in the next episode of the Scream ranking. We'll do that in the Ghostface episode then, which will be out next week, probably maybe the week after. I need to do a lot of research for that, to be honest. So maybe the week after I'll do that video. This is my favourite horror franchise of all time. I know I've said this many times and I've talked about this. I don't know why the 5th one is so good. I don't know why the first one is so good. But the films are just so iconic. I really enjoy them, and yeah. Then for Scream 3, I have it at a... Scream 3 I have at a 3 out of 5 stars. And the average rating for that film then is 2.9. So, yeah, it was not a really good film, to be honest. And then the last on my list then I have is Scream 7. Made in 2026, directed by Kevin Williamson, and stars Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, and Isabel May. It's horrible. It is honestly one of the worst horror films I think I've ever seen. And I've watched a lot of bad horror films. Let me give it to you in my review way. I give it 2.5 out of 5, and the average rating is 2.2. This was a horrible film. The ghost faces lacked like anything. The character arc was basically not there. There was you had the original characters, Sydney and Gail, but you didn't use them as much as you could have because you were trying to introduce a new character, Isabel May's character, which is Sydney's daughter. Why? Why not just use the character you already have to your, it could have been so much better than it was. But this film was horrendous. I can't even, not say it. Can't really say a good thing about it. It was just horrendous. And that's my ranking of all 7 Scream films, 1 to 7. Give me your ranking in the comments below, and tell me which one was your favourite, which one is your least favourite. I think you'll agree with me if you think Scream 7 was your least favourite. Yeah, stay tuned for the Scream ranking, and stay tuned for the 200 subscriber special coming this Friday. Bye-bye.